What is going on, everybody? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the BEL podcast. Today, I am joined with a very, very, very special friend of mine. I actually got to meet a couple of weeks ago in person. We went out for lunch, and please welcome our friend 15th Bend. What's going on, my friend?
Hey Jesse, hey everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for spending your evening with us. This is great.
Of course, I'm honored.
So, for the folks at home who don't know who 15th Bend is, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself?
It's kind of like an elevator pitch. I'll keep it short, and then we can talk about it. So I'm an indie musician who started this journey during the COVID lockdowns. Started learning guitar just to kill some time because we were told that we're going to be just working from home for a couple of weeks, and then it's going to be over. Life is going to go back to the 5 days a week hamster wheel, commuting downtown, and everything. So I was like, okay, so we have 2 3 weeks where I am saving 3 hours of commute on my daily, commute downtown. So I'll just learn a little bit of guitar, and then that just changed into something completely different. And a year later, I started making my own original music, producing my own music, composing it, and now 5 years from that time. I have like 3 albums now, so I have my channel's doing good. So I'm just blessed, and I feel very honored to be here with you on this podcast. So thank you for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks for being a supporter of the reaction community too, and the indie music community. For those of y'all know that I'm kind of trying to do my what I can to support indie artists as well. So it's
Well,
always the
of course,
dream,
of
right?
course. Yep. And before like we get into the interview, I just want to say what I mentioned to you as well when we met, that reaction channels are like the new radio. This is where so many artists get discovered. You guys share our music, um, bring our music to this, introduce it to a whole new audience. And I discovered reaction channels. I was just telling a friend of mine, actually, I discovered reaction channels just before COVID. And that too, because my taste in music is very old school, classic rock, Pink Floyd being my number one. And not a lot of my friends listen to that anymore, So I used to feel like, man, like there's nobody to really enjoy music with. And then I came across a reaction channel on YouTube, and I was like, man, like let's see what's going on here. And I saw the guy vibing to there was a song by Zeppelin, and I was just watching him, and my head is bopping as well with him, and I was like, yo, this is fun. And I had never imagined, like at that time, that at some point my music is going to be reacted to. So shout out to all of you, and I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
That's actually really interesting. My um, when I started going into the reactor, like as content to consume, when I was watching reactors, it was right around the same time too. So I've always looked up the lyrics. Like I go to like Lyric Genius or whatever they are and try to find like the meanings of songs. And
Yeah.
then for whatever reason, it was like lyrical breakdown or whatever. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I click on it. And this guy is not only vibing to the song in the way that I was vibing, but he was giving like a lot of context to the song. And I was like, this is so interesting,
Yeah.
and it helped me connect to a song that I already liked just that much more. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's amazing concept, and like we are as indie musicians, we are so glad that you guys are out there looking out for us, and showing us, like reintroducing us to a lot of music that we have enjoyed in the past, but maybe not looked at it from that angle which you guys make us see. So it's a beautiful thing. So
Well, and everyone
thank
has their
you.
own like lane. Like I always talk about like tech stuff. Some people focus on like singers or lyrics. Some people like everyone's got their own little thing that they kind of talk about, right?
100%, 100% tech stuff. I'm not gonna lie, like because I am very new to this. I am not a gearhead by any means. To be honest, like by the time I was when I was starting to learn the guitar, I didn't really even know what an amp actually does. I was just like, okay, just like any speaker, like just plug it in and just make sound. And it's just because I don't know. For me, the music was always number one. I did not really care about all the nuts and bolts, which is kind of surprising because I am an electrical engineer, but I think all my brain cells were used in getting my degree done. And when it came to music, I was just like, man, I don't want to get into all the nuts and bolts and engineering behind it. I just want to listen to music, right? So I'm not a gearhead, but I have learned so much over the last few years. And it's a lot of times while speaking to you as well, I'm just like, whoa, Jesse, bro, just slow down, man. Like with some of the things, I remember that one message you sent me, and you're like, 15, like, send me a song of yours, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna boost this, and I'm gonna do this. I was like after like 5 minutes of rereading it, I was like, okay, bro, like if I ever do that, I'm just gonna send it to Jesse and let him do his thing. I'm not even gonna get too much into it. But it's a learning curve, and I'm enjoying learning it now. Now it's a whole different reason why I want to learn it, because now I want my mixes to sound good, my music to sound good. So it's a whole different ball game now.
I got you. I don't know if anyone saw me just jump there. Apparently, all of a sudden my headphones kicked in because all of a sudden it was really loud. Oh man, my heart's like beating. Oh, that
Oh,
was a trip.
you were complaining the volume was low in the beginning, so
Apparently, it's not anymore. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. So you have some free time given back to you, and you decide to pick up a guitar. What inspired that?
So I have been listening to guitar focused music for about 20, 25 years, like really guitar focused music. I always liked the guitar. I still remember the first time I was really intrigued by a guitar was when I heard Van Halen slay that solo on Beat It.
Nice.
Because MJ, growing up when I was a kid, MJ was the biggest icon, and I loved MJ. But I remember when I heard Beat It, it instantly became my favorite song. And part of it was because of that solo. And at that time, I didn't even know what instrument this is because I was like, I don't know, 7 years old or 8 years old. I had no idea. But I was like, what the fuck is that sound? That sounds amazing. So I always liked it. But when I got introduced to classic rock and Pink Floyd specifically, that is when I was like, man, like, I just need solos. I need solos. I love guitar solos. And I always wanted to learn it. But being a lefty, it wasn't easy because I had very few friends who were playing guitar, and all of them were righties. So they tell me, "Yo, check this out if you want to just you go to a friend's place and you see a guitar. A lot of people they just pick it up and they just try and get a feel for the instrument. I couldn't even do that because I used to do it and it used to be just feel wrong because they were all righties. So I wanted to learn it, but I had kind of given up on that dream because I was like, I've never played any instrument. I'm like, man, what are the chances, that I can learn the guitar? But I bought one in 2017. I ordered one on Amazon. It was like $100 cheap, like Rise by Sawtooth, I think.
Sweet.
And I got it, and I was like, you know what? One day I'm gonna learn this. One day I'm gonna learn this. And it was sitting here in the corner for 3 years, and I never even like the first day. I remember I opened it up, I hooked it into this small like amp, which was like 5 watts or something. It was like a terrible amp, right? No effects, nothing. And I plug it in thinking that okay, I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna sound like Gilmore because Gilmore is my number one. And it sounded like a cat, caught in a lawnmower. So I was just like, man, like I'm just gonna unplug this. This is not gonna work. So I just put it back. And then 2020 happens, and I was like, you know what? Now I gotta kill time. We have a lot of time because those 3 hours have come back to me. Our social life is done. Kids, I don't have to drop the kid to school, pick up the kid from school. Like there's nothing happening, so I have some time. So I want to learn one guitar solo by David Gilmour. That was the dream. If I can play one David Gilmour guitar solo, then I'll be like, okay, I have done what I wanted to do, and that's it. Guitar goes back, and I go back to my daily, hamster wheel life. But it's when I started learning it, I was just like, man, this is like I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it just like playing stuff that sounds good to my ear. Um, and I kept at it, and lockdowns kept getting extended. So I was just like, all right, like let's see how far this goes. Until I discovered backing tracks on YouTube. So when I discovered a backing track, I was like, okay. So I watched some basic videos. I think it was Andy Guitar, if I'm not mistaken. Beginner guitar learning for beginners, and it was like on an acoustic. I never wanted to learn acoustic. My main thing was I want to play lead, and I saw some of his videos, but that was good for teaching me the basics. What are the notes, how to play the basic open chords, bar chords, stuff like that. But lead guitar was what I really wanted to do. And when I discovered backing tracks, I'm like, okay, so this is the key. If I can just play within this tiny area on the guitar, let's see what it sounds like. And I kept playing, and I kept, I was like, okay, this sounds decent. I think I can do something with this. But then I was like, okay, what can I do with it? I can't use this backing track, so I'll have to make my own backing track. And that's when I got went down the rabbit hole of DAWs and music production, composition, and all that stuff. And it just as after that, it's just been an absolutely crazy journey. Like, it's unbelievable to me some days, but I think the what sparked it was David Gilmour. The first time I heard Gilmour, that was it. That was in 2002 when I heard him the first time, and it just stuck with me. And I always wanted to learn guitar because of him, and that's why my artist name 15 Band is inspired by David Gilmour.
Crazy, man. It's neat how something like inspiration like that can sit with you for so long.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you heard that in 2002 and you knew I'm going to do something like that.
yeah. Well, I was like, at least I'm gonna enjoy this for the rest of my life.
Sure.
And I listened to like so much classic rock, and a lot of people have misconceptions when it comes to classic rock. They assume it's all about those heavy chords and just like distortion and everything. For me, it's like all the melodic guitar solos, like Deep Purple, like some of Richie Blackmore's solos, Gary Moore, Buckethead. Like Gary Moore was more blues, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it was just my focus always was when the lead guitar would hit, I would just be like, man, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. So this is what I want to listen to. I never imagine I'm gonna play it. That is a whole different.
Well, and
Mm,
it's interesting like a lot of the folks that you're naming like amazing guitar players like
yeah,
like trendsetters for the
yeah,
future to come. But none of them are
yeah.
like really known for like shredding. Like Buckethead
Exactly.
maybe, but it's like all very
Yeah.
very melodic and like intentional lead playing, right?
100%. Yes. So for me, in the beginning, I did enjoy like a lot of shredding, and I used to be like, man, because I can't make sense of what they're playing, but it sounds awesome. It's like super fast, and nothing against it. I don't know if it's age, Jesse, but like I just went from that to, I was like, man, you know what? I just want to the space between the notes. It's the notes that you don't play. I don't know who said that, but I read that a couple of times. I was just like, man, exactly. Like for me, Gilmore, Clapton, Jimmy Page, Blackmore, like the way they phrase their solo, it's just that's exactly what I wanted to do because it was melodic. It's something that sticks with me. These days, I see a lot of guitarists on Instagram, TikTok. Like they play like they have like 20 fingers. It's insane. You can't even follow what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not taking anything away from them. They're highly skilled, hours and hours of practice. But it's just not something that sticks with me for some reason. Maybe that music has a factor of nostalgia for me as well. Maybe that's why it's stuck. But I don't know. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just play like make the guitar talk. So it's it's been just I can't even, some days I can't even believe that I'm actually playing the guitar. But that's why I always say I'm an advanced noob. I'm nowhere near any of the names that I'm taking or anywhere near the talent I see on the internet. I'm just doing my thing and trying to just express myself on the guitar.
I got you. So, like already with everything you've told me, I can kind of see like how the birthing of 15th Bend and like your style, your music, like I could see that all coming together, right?
Yeah.
So, the backing tracks, learning intro guitar stuff, like at what point did you start trying to write your own song?
So when I started learning Ableton, I was like, okay, so this is one thing. When it comes to rhythm guitar, playing a lot of chords, quick changes on the guitar. I think I told you like these two fingers, my ring finger and index finger, are broken because of sports injuries, right? So I used to struggle when I was holding a bar chord, and I used to quickly transition. Like these fingers sometimes get just jammed. So I was like, okay, so now I have a choice. I can either spend months and months trying to get over this to play chords on the guitar, or I can just play them on a MIDI keyboard, which I had just learned at that time from YouTube what a MIDI keyboard does. Is I can just play the chords, like because playing the chords on keyboard, even if I mess it up a little bit, I can always like with my mouse I can move them around, quantize them, and everything. Now the purists, the music purists, are gonna hate me for saying all this, but it's true. Like new music technology is it makes it easier. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, I have the same struggles that musicians had 50 years ago. Absolutely not. So I was like, okay, I'll play synths because I love the sound of synths because of Pink Floyd. I was like, okay, I'll play synths and chords on the keyboard, and I will try and just solo over it and see how it goes. And I remember 2021, around April, is when I had some idea of Ableton, some idea of what a DAW is and how I can, just put a chord progression, basic chord progression, and how I can just play like a kick drum just for instead of a metronome. I hate metronomes.
Yep.
I've never played to
Same,
metronomes.
bro.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, I'll put a basic kick drum and just have the chords over there and I'll see how it goes. And then I recorded a solo. And then I remembered like my friends at that time, some of them thought I'm going through a midlife crisis. Like he's just, out of the blue, he wants to play the guitar. All right. But I used to send it to a few people and be like, yo, what do you think? And they were kind enough that they understood that, okay, this is new. It's a new musician, but they would give me good feedback. They'd be like, yeah, there's something in this. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I'll just make a YouTube channel. I'll make a song and see how it goes. And at that time, I did play a few of the chords I played, on the guitar as well, just to accompany it, but nothing like really complex or complicated. Just very simple open chords. And I just put it up there. And my when I made my channel, I was like, okay, what artist name do I choose? Like Lockdown Musician, something like that. But then I tried to look for that, and there's already like 50 people who've already got that channel. So then I started thinking about it. Why am I making music? What made me want to learn the guitar? It was Gilmore. And some of my favorite guitar solos of his, they start by bending the B string at the 15th fret, and that's how they start. Um, and one of my favorite solos of all time, not by Gilmore, but by Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. Eddie Hazel was the guitarist.
Great band name.
Oh yeah, yeah. But if you ever listen to that solo, you'll be like zoned out, bro. It's one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. That also starts over there. So I was like, you know what, 15th B bend is what I'm gonna name it. And then like very quickly within a day, I was like, man, the B is kind of redundant. So it was 15th capital B, and then bend was with small b. And I was just like, man, how about I just take the B, the capital B over there with Ben, and then I just call 15 Ben. And I just made a channel. I put that up. I put that song up, and it was called Revived. The reason I chose that name, Revived, was when lockdown started. Like when this whole thing started, I was going through something in my personal life which was really, really um, draining emotionally, and it started to like physically take a toll on my health. So I, in many ways, attribute guitar and music and all of this to kind of saving my life in a way, because completely, I was lost for a bit. So I was like, this is my revival. So I named it Revived. And I sent it to a few friends, and, my friends shared it out. They liked it. They really liked it. Like, obviously, it wasn't like earth shattering or anything. It was a very simple song. But I was just like, man, you know what? Even if one person said to me that, yo, this is good, I was like, all right, like I think I'm gonna make another one and another one and another one. And then it just kept flowing, and here we are, 3 albums later.
That's wild, man.
So
And congratulations on that. Like that's not
thank you.
only a wild like trajectory,
Yeah,
but I know you just released an album as well, and having three under your belt already is fantastic, man. Good for you.
thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah.
S-
It's taken a lot of time, a lot of sweat, but sweat and tears. But I'm really proud of it.
and you should be, man. You should be.
Thank you, thank
Now,
you.
a lot of your music is instrumental,
Yeah.
and it seems like they still are rooted in something very emotional. So, like, how do you walk that line of trying to tell a story without words and finding inspiration in a topic and then letting it speak through your guitar?
So usually when I was making music, it was more like, okay, um, I have to have a theme in my mind before I even start writing the song. And then I would wait and wait until like I was feeling some sort of emotion. And then I would sit down and be like, okay, so what kind of emotion, like how would I express this on the guitar or my music? But then very quickly it turned into, I was like, you know what? Because I used to just randomly hum melodies sometimes. I still do. And I would quickly record it in my phone because I was like, okay, I'm not going to forget this. At some point, I'm going to, play around with this. And then it became more like, so I had a melody in my mind. I would just record that. And then I would start thinking about that melody and what kind of emotion it's evoking in me. Is it really, like sad? Because most of my songs are in the minor keys, right? So I'm like major keys. I think I only have like one or two songs. That's it. Most of them are in the minor key, and minor key is the sad key by default. So I was like, man, you know what? If I'm feeling a certain way and this melody kind of evokes that emotion, I'm just gonna run with it, and I'm gonna see where it takes me. So that's why a lot of the times I stopped just thinking about, okay, the song has to start like this, end like this. This is the bridge. This is the chorus. My music didn't have and still doesn't have a lot of structure, like the typical structure where you have the intro and then the bridge and the chorus and all that stuff. Nothing like that. I just go with the flow. If I feel like, okay, I've put a guitar part on this section and it's been a while now, it's kind of becoming boring, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to switch something up. So what am I going to switch? Either I'm going to switch to distorted guitar or I'm going to change the beat up a bit. I'm going to do something, but still keep that emotion part of this. And sometimes it's multiple emotions. Like on this album, I played a song called Acceptance, which is like inspired by a friend, because then I started taking inspiration from my friends or other people who I had met, and I had discovered that they had gone through something really difficult in their lives. So I was like, if I put myself in their shoes, what would I be feeling like? What kind of music would I be making? And Acceptance is about, it's like the seven stages of grief. It starts like with the absolute somber like intro, and then it just like it evolves, and at the end it's not like a very happy kind of ending, but it's still uplifting. It's like, okay, you know what, like this pain is never going to go away, but I have grown around this pain. I have accepted the fact that this is going to be a part of me, and that's fine, but I have grown around it. So like if I'll send you the song afterwards if you
Yeah,
want to
please
check
do.
it out. Like it, it's very different, and I don't stick by any one method, because then you restrict yourself. Then you're like, okay, you know what, I have to do this. I have to make a song. It has to be 2.5 minutes long. Otherwise, people are going to lose interest. I have to have like something catchy within the first 3 seconds. Otherwise, they'll click off. I mean, that's how the world is now. I get it, which is why I don't aspire, or I don't think my music is ever going to go viral or whatever. But that's fine, because I have to express myself. And if I feel like I'm just doing it just to get somebody's attention and that's it, just so I can get a million views, I'm I'm not being real, which is the name of my album, by the way, but the latest one. But it's with the album, I loved making albums because of this reason. Because on YouTube, Spotify, I tried pitching my songs to Spotify's editorial playlist, but I mean, 5 minute songs with no specific genre. Like I wouldn't even know what to tell them. Like, what genre does this belong to? I feel embarrassed. I don't know. It's a bit of prog rock, a bit of post rock, but the beat is kind of like orchestral. But I have some synth, so I have a little bit of flute in there as well. Like, so I get it, but with the album, I felt like, okay, I can have a 7 minute song if I want it, you know. So the process is, it's not, I have kind of broken the chains a little bit, because I was like, oh, music has to have a structure, you have to have this and that, and I was just like, man, I can't do it that way.
Hmm.
So without words, though, what your question was, that I don't know, it's, I'm feeling the emotion, I am playing what my ear is telling me, because I'm not, you know, very learned on music theory. I know the basics, but I just play by ear. So I'm like, yeah, instead of this note, I think this note, and bending it like half step over here, and then going here and just putting a full bend. I think this is what I'm feeling. So I just do that, and it resonates with people. So I'm fortunate.
Well, and I think you are bang on with that because, like, the couple of songs that I've reacted to, it seems that folks agree with me when I'm like, this feels like the redemption piece, or this feels like we're coming back from like what we were just went through, this fight we just
Yeah,
went through, and people go like, you nailed it. And then I watch
yeah,
another reaction, and it's almost the exact same, and it's just like it's so interesting. Like there's slight different takeaways in everyone's personal experience, but it
yeah.
seems like the general theme of it, we're all kind of on the same page, and I just think that's so neat, especially from instrumental music.
Yeah, it is. It is surprising. And in the beginning, Jesse, I'm not kidding. Like when I made my first 5 or 6 songs, when I discovered YouTube reaction channels, they were all hip hop,
Yeah.
right? So the first community, first like 2 or 3 communities I discovered were all hip hop reaction communities. And I walk in there with this slow melodic guitar. I'm the only one there with this vibe. And I used to be like, holy smokes, man! Like I'm gonna get butchered, because in hip hop, it's like the uh, not all of them. Like there's very nice people as well, but there was quite a bit where the audience was ruthless in the chat, where the person on camera is ruthless as well. So I used to be like, holy smokes, this is kind of nerve wracking. But I was fortunate that 99% of the time, they, now obviously it wasn't their vibe, like their go-to daily music, but they appreciated and respected the fact that the music feels good. They were like, this feels good. So, and they appreciated the that I had just started at that time, and the mixes didn't sound like really terrible. So, and that I was making my own music instead of leasing a beat and putting something on it. Like that happens a lot. So they gave me this boost of confidence that, okay, I'm doing something right. But the common theme that everyone used to tell me, like there were 2 or 3 common themes that to this day they used to use the word journey. That this song was a journey. And the other thing was the guitar was talking, so it was like the guitar is the vocalist, and that is exactly what I was trying to do at that time. So I'm just like, knock on wood, I'm just like, I feel like I'm lucky as well, that I got introduced to some good people in the beginning who kind of helped me gain some confidence. Because without that, honestly, Jesse, I couldn't do it. I'm being dead honest. If I was told, this sucks and this and that, like 5 or 6 times, I would have probably been like, yeah, you know what, maybe people are right. This is not. Maybe I should go try another hobby for lockdown time killing.
Hmm.
But it was just, the people's kindness and generosity in their compliments, and letting me know how the music is making them feel, that has kept me going to this day.
That's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
like, I don't want to harp on this either, but like, you've obviously had some amazing experiences. I also know during your time of this, you've had some really hard experiences, going through all this. Um, would you say that like the music and like the community you've built and everyone around you, like, have they kind of helped you keep not only a level head, but like maybe a safe head as well?
100%. So I built my community from all these live stream reaction channels where I used to go and send my music, right? Because I figured very early on that all these emails that I get from people saying, "Oh, give us like 25 bucks as a marketing budget, and we're going to run an ad for you here. We're going to do this, we're going to do that." And like 99% of them was just scams. So I was like, this is not going to really grow my audience. Like, yeah, I'm going to get like, 500 views, but that's not real people. That's bots. And this is all stuff that I had no idea about before I even got into this music scene. I actually was so naive. I used to think all these big pop stars that I used to listen to sometimes on the radio or whatever, they were all like, playing each and every instrument themselves, recording and producing each and everything themselves. I had no idea like how music is made like these days, right? And how it's promoted and how the marketing is done. So when I discovered reaction channels, and I remember like I the first two or three subs that I got from a reaction stream from the audience, um, and then they came to comment on a new song of mine. I was like, holy shit, man! Like these people, they liked my music so much from that reaction stream that they didn't just subscribe and just forget about me. They actually followed me and checked my next song. So I was like, okay, so this is the best way to market yourself. Reaction channels is how you market yourself. You get your music in front of new people and then see how it goes. Like if nobody likes it, that's fine. At least you got your music heard. And now you know that, okay, tough crowd tonight, maybe, whatever. But piece by piece, little by little, I built my audience like that. And then we formed like this bond. So the Bensters, as you know, not a very creative name, but I think I used all my creativity in 15 Bends. So with
There
the
you go.
community with the community name, I was just like Bensters. I was just like quickly thinking of it. And they have literally, man, like they have kept me going in so many ways, not just by supporting my music, but also because YouTube, it's a crazy world
It's a
sometimes.
fickle
You
bitch.
run,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you run into all sorts of people here, right? Um, because if you're not active on YouTube, think about it. How many new people do you run into in your daily life? You will run into them maybe through your job. So it's going to be a very corporate, professional setting. So they're not going to be, it's going to be a very professional way you both talk to each other and you go your own ways. But YouTube is a whole different beast. People are just sitting there, by the keyboard, behind, no camera, nothing, and they can just say whatever the heck they want. So there's been then you think, okay, some person is going to be this way, they turn out to be another way, and then you live and learn. But you need people, you need real people in your corner, and I am very blessed in that regard that the Bensters are like one of the nicest people that I have met but not met,
Totally.
virtually. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I love that, man. And I'm glad that you've not only come to the realization of how to build a community for yourself that works, but you've found such amazing people. And I've said this in your streams too. Like your
yeah,
live streams, bro, when there's, 40, 50 people in there, some of the
yeah,
most inviting people
yeah.
on the internet, like in the live streaming world. I swear to God.
100%,
It is
man.
so much fun
I've
hanging out
noticed
there.
that too, because I when I was before I was streaming, Jesse, I was at the mercy of other reaction channels, other people who are doing live streams, and it used to some things I just didn't like about those streams, right? Like somebody's playing my song that I paid, $10 or $15 to get it played, um, and the guy is just like, talking over my song, like just you know responding to hellos in the chat while my song is playing, which is an instrumental. It doesn't have words to begin with. So I have to basically pique someone's interest in the audience just with an instrumental. And then the guy is just talking over it, or, he says, oh, you know what? I wish this had lyrics on it. I'm just going to rap over it. So my music is being played. This guy's just freestyling and talking. The song is about loss of a loved one, and he's rapping about shorties and all that stuff. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So I learned a lot that, okay, this is what I don't want to do when I do a live stream. Whenever I do it, if I ever do it, it was an if at that point. That if I ever do it, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do anything crazy on camera, whatever. Um, and I'm gonna make sure that my people in my chat know that, okay, criticism of something is fine, but it has to be very respectful, because that can make or break someone, man.
Oh, totally.
That can, and
100%.
I feel that. I feel that. I was on the other side of that for the first few years. I was like, holy smokes! If 100 people could say, "Man, I love this song," that one person who said, "Man, this sucked," that is what's going to get stuck in your head, and you're going to keep thinking about it in the beginning, at least. Now I don't care if somebody does say it. I'm just like, all right, man, it's not your cup of
Thanks for the
tea.
algorithm boost. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's just like I really don't care because I have all these other people who are genuinely vibing with it, so it's fine. In the beginning, though, it's you have to be very calculated with how you give critique. So that's why I'm not a reaction channel. I don't react and do breakdowns and give critique or anything unless somebody asks me for specific feedback. Then yes, and I will be respectful. But my audience, I think they like that, and they know that this is what I like. So it's just become a very inviting, very friendly community, and I love them.
Yeah. Well, and it's obvious, man, and it's obviously that it's obvious that they love you too. Holy crap, I can't talk. But it's a
I
beautiful
think
thing,
it's
man. It's an awesome thing to see.
yeah, 100%. It's rare, but it's once you experience that, there's nothing like it.
Well, and like I'm with you, bro, and that's probably why we're friends or we hit it off so fast. Like, you can't come to my channel for negativity because there is none.
Yeah,
Like even if something isn't mine, I'm gonna try to for me, I guess I'm gonna try to find a way to enjoy it because
yeah,
who's this? Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you don't like it.
yeah,
So I'm not
hundred
gonna sit
percent.
here and call something trash. Like whose opinion is mine? Like it's
Yeah,
there's no chance, right? So
absolutely, absolutely. And the only thing, the only criteria that I did select though in the beginning, and I was very clear about this, I was like, look, I started from nothing, like from music knowledge wise, and I learned and I wanted to improve my how my music sounds. You know, like the at least the audio quality, the production quality. I'm very particular about that, and that's why I can't even listen to some of my older songs. You know, when somebody discovers my channel, they're like, "Oh my god, 15 Ben, I love your music. I can't wait to go all the way back and check all your music." And I'm like, actually, you can just skip the first 2 years, you know, because
hit the brakes a little.
because the mix, I'm not happy with it, you know. But they're kind enough, they enjoy it, they still see that, okay, you know, this is how it started, but now we know he's improved. So that's the only thing that I really have been particular about, that I'm like, guys, you know what, if you can produce it good yourself, like, ask around. Like, there's a lot of musicians in the community, you know, they can help you, there's studio engineers. But put some effort, because if you put some effort in it, people are going to notice it. Like, I'm not kidding, like some of the music I play, Jesse, like, you know, those people, their music is so professionally produced, it's a beautiful thing. Anyone who listens to it, even if the song is not their vibe, they have this immediate sense of respect for that artist, that, yo man, this sounds so freaking professional, you know, like these guys took the time to either rent a studio, rent engineers, they hire someone to do it. So that means they believe in their own music enough to do it.
Hmm.
So I that's my only thing. Like, just believe in yourself. Like, don't submit, you know, just like you're sitting in the washroom with the phone mic and you're just like playing something, and you don't care how the volume is, how the audio levels are. I can't even hear what you're saying, you know, because the exhaust fan is too loud. Like, don't send me that stuff. You
Yeah.
know, because then if I play that, my audience is not gonna enjoy it. They're gonna start dozing off. I know it. So I've been kind of like particular about it. In the beginning, I got a lot of flack because of that as well, like subliminal, that, oh, you know, like our music isn't good enough for 15 stream and this and that. But it was like, no, man. Uh, and now a lot of people actually leave these comments. And man, 15, the music that gets played on your streams, like, one thing about it is it's freaking sounds beautiful. Sounds very clear, perfect, you know? That's why I use OBS as well. I would love to have people on my panel and be like, you know, have like 8 people on StreamYard, which just shooting shit sometimes. Sometimes you want to change it up as well. But the only issue I have with that is, like, whenever I'm going to play a song on StreamYard, it's going to sound like it's
Yep.
underwater. You know, the
Yep.
quality is not the same as OBS. So that's why I put the effort of learning OBS and using OBS. I sacrifice panels for that. But the audio quality, when they come and listen to the music, they enjoy it. And I don't pause the music. That's also one of my rules. I don't pause it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let it play because they're enjoying it. If I have something really important to say, then I'll do it. But I want to give the artist his time or her time when their music is being played. I want the spotlight on them so the audience enjoys that as well. It's just like, man, I can talk about the Bensers all night, man. Like, I just love them. You
Yeah.
know that.
No, man. And it, like I say, it's obvious and it is truly a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you.
So last time in the last stream I saw, Reel had been either ordered or pre-ordered 102 times, I think.
Yes, at that time,
Wow,
yes.
man, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank
So
you very much.
tell us about the album, man. How did the concept of it come together? I remember you sending me a message being like, "Man, I don't know if I got a whole album in me," and now it's out. So yeah, tell me all about it.
So after my last album, Heal, I was dead set that I'm not going to be able to make an album this year because 16th, my 3 year old, who I call 16th Ben on the internet, uh, 16th is at that stage where he is like really, really, it's like it's a huge time sink, because an energy sink. Like once I'm done with 16th, I am like, I just don't have the energy in me. Plus, there's some other changes in our like lifestyle that has, caused like schedule shifts and everything. I was like, I saw that coming, and I was like, I'm not gonna make another album for another year. My first album was Feel, the second one was Heal, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait a couple of years and then release another one. And then I swear, this time it was like with Heal, I was burned out just making the album because the mixing and the mastering and this the composition, and then I'm like, okay, so I have to do this. I have to make a song that has this theme because that was something I was feeling last month or whatever. With this one, it just happens so naturally. Like I think end of Feb or beginning of March, around that time, I was just there had been some BS that I've been going through, and I was just like I had this really really special moment where I was like, you know what, I really want to play the guitar right now. Now, one thing that a lot of people think, because they've seen my journey, and for them it seems to be a very rapid, rise in learning the guitar. They assume that I'm always like just sitting here practicing guitar, right? I hardly have had the time over the last few years since 16th was born. Because in 2021, I started making my original music. 2022 March 16th arrived. So after that, like anytime I was like, I just want to record. Like if I get the chance to play guitar, I'm gonna record that and just leave it there. So at least I have an idea recorded, and then I'm gonna build on that. So my practice was basically just recording guitar parts for my song. Yeah, I make a mistake, I start all over again. That was my practice. So I was just sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I haven't played the guitar in like a month. I hadn't even touched the guitar. And at that point, I was just like, man, you know what? I just want to play the guitar right now, and I want to make something. So I just sit down. I open Ableton, simple chord progression. All my chord progressions are very, very basic, very simple. So I just put a simple chord progression, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just see where this goes. And I just pick up the guitar and I just started recording it. And at the end of it, I was like, holy smokes, when I listened to it, I was like, man, this solo sounds, this was a one take, but this sounds pretty close to being the final phrasing. Like obviously I'll have to redo some parts where my, you know, finger touched the string above or whatever, and it had that buzz sound. But the phrasing is done, which is phrasing is the main part. You have to, how are you going to phrase the solo? Because it's just an instrumental, it's just a guitar solo. And I was like, oh, that was easy. Okay, I'll leave this record, I'll save this project, and I'll revisit it tomorrow. The next day I wake up and I'm feeling another kind of way. So I'm like, okay, I can't wait for work to finish tonight because I have this melody stuck in my head. And I'm not kidding, Jesse. Like at one point, within a month, I was working on 5 songs simultaneously. I never used to do that. Never have I done that. I start a song, I finish it, and I move on to the next one. I never do that. Maybe one or two exceptions where I started one, but then I started another one, and then after that, I immediately came back to the first one. Because there's a joke everywhere, memes on Facebook and everywhere, where they say, "Oh, like musicians, some of them have like 3,000 projects that they never finished, and they keep saying they're going to revisit it, they never do." With me, that's not the case. I am just like very OCD about that stuff. I'm like, no, I started this, I have to finish this. But this time I had 5 songs at the same time, and all of them have this different vibe. And I'm working. The first 2 hours in the evening, I'm working on one. Then I save that and close it, and I move to the next one. And I wasn't feeling burnt out at all. I wasn't dreading it. I wasn't feeling like, holy shit, I have to put an album out. I have to do this. I was just like, we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna make music and then see how it goes. And before I knew it, like 3 or 4 months into it, I was like, I have like, 10 new songs ready for this album. And I added five more, like previous ones that were on YouTube, but I kind of remastered a few, remixed a few, and here we are, man. Like but I told this to my friends as well, that this album did not give me any burnout at all.
Cool.
It was just very natural, like it's surprising.
Oh, that's
It
super
was
cool,
okay.
man.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, be, I guess it's good that you're aware of, like, when you're feeling a certain kind of way, you can experience that as inspiration in one way. Because, like, say if you're trying to write a song, say you're mad, right? And the next day you wake up and you're joyful and you're grateful, you don't want to go back to being mad again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to, hopefully you're not mad like at all the time, but you don't want, you want to wait for that moment to strike again because then it's authentic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And even like with me, like I'm not really a rhythm guitar player because I never really practiced it too much. The thing that actually happened was initially when I was learning, there was this Facebook group where a lot of people who were learning like joined that group and they would share their progress. And I made a few friends over there as well. And I mentioned this to them. I'm like, man, I'm struggling with this. Like, I can, because they used to be like, how can you play this solo? You know, they're so beautiful. Like, how do you keep going and going and going? And I was just like, I don't know, man. I'm just following my ear, right? So they used to jokingly say this, oh, I'm going to show off that I knew you when you go big, you know? And I used to be like, man, I didn't even pay any attention to it. But I asked one of them once, I'm like, man, I'm really struggling with, rhythm because my fingers get locked. So, like, what do I do? He was like, man, like, why do you have to learn it? I'm like, well, isn't that like one of the basics? He's like, BB King didn't play rhythm. And BB King, I love BB King. So
Facts.
when
Yeah.
I heard that, I was like, you know what, holy shit, like, yeah, you're right. Screw it. Like, I'll just play rhythm. Like, if I like, I'll play it in my own way. Um, and then I'm just gonna use synths. I'm not gonna spend hours and hours and hours trying to learn something that's not my vibe anyway. So even if I'm angry with the distorted guitar and those power chords, yeah, I've learned a few thanks to a few friends of mine. Um, but other than that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm angry. I'm still gonna play something which evokes an emotion, which makes you feel bad that I'm angry, that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. So this album came together fairly like smoothly. It seems like there wasn't a ton of friction in the way. What would you say that this album means to you?
So the album is it's it has it has music which was inspired by something I was feeling in that moment, some emotions which I overcame. There's music that has that theme as well, where I overcame those emotions. There's two songs. There's like Severed and Together, right? So I mean, Severed was one of the earliest ones. I put some reels on IG when came up with that song, and people really loved it. Um, and the album, like the title track, "Real," was that was crazy. That one was because I had a different song in mind as the title song. I was like, okay, I'm going to use this as a title song. I've never released this song, and I can use this as the title song for real. But then, um, just like I think a month before the album launch, when I thought the album was ready, one of the Bensters reaches out to me because they see me on the live stream. Like they see me once a week. And I am just authentic with them. If I am feeling like down, like I'm not gonna bring them down and to be like that. But they can sense it. They can tell that okay, he's tired or he's fatigued or whatever, or he's going through something. And a lot of them reach out to me and they're like, "Are you okay? Just checking in, bro. Like, uh, don't stress because of music, or don't stress that you have to keep us entertained. If you need time off, they're really kind. But one in particular, this one day just reached out to me and like, 15, are you okay? Are you fine? I'm just like concerned, And at that moment, I was like, man, like, where do I begin? How much time do you have? It's kind of like that.
Totally, totally.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, you know what? No, 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 don't worry. I'm fine. I'm fine. But that inspired me right there and then, a month before the album launch, where I'm like, man, so many people ask me, um, how I'm doing. And I just say I'm fine. And a lot of people say that to me as well when I ask them how you're doing, real. So a lot of us are guilty of this. But if I'm not feeling fine, so what? Like, I'm gonna write about this. And I came up with the lyrics for that within, like, I think 2 or 3 days, and I just went at it. And I think, like, fortunately enough, I did that because that became everyone's favorite song on the album.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of people said this is our favorite 15 band song ever. You know, and the biggest thing that we like, I don't want the audience confused, because they'll be like, oh, but doesn't he make instrumentals? Like, what is he singing now? He's writing lyrics. So that happened as something completely surprising, where I made a song and I was like, you know what? I feel like this should have lyrics on it. And because I was so much in the fields, I was just like, man, you know what? I'm just going to sing it myself. Because of the Bensters, who have been pushing me that, oh, you have a good voice, just try it. You should try it. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, it's not my thing. But they kept pushing me and I did it. And that song's The Pain, which you even reacted to. And that song instantly, I remember when I had that song. So a lot of people just showed up to the premiere. I think there was like 83, 84 people who showed up
Awesome,
to the
man.
premiere. For a channel my size, that's,
That's
you
unbelievable.
know how it is. It's
Yeah.
crazy, right? But they showed up because people were like genuinely interested in, okay, let's see, this guy's been making instrumentals this whole time. Now he's putting himself out there as a vocalist as well. Let's see what it is. And they loved it, and it was, to this day, it's like my most liked song on YouTube. So after that, I was like, okay, I got some confidence from that, and then I made the song "I'll Be There," which then became a lot of people's favorite song. And on this album, a lot of people have been asking me, "Yo, whenever you make an album 15, we want more vocals." So I was like, okay, you know what? If I feel it, I'll do it. I'm not gonna force myself.
Totally.
If I feel it, then I'm gonna do it. So, and this album has like 3 or 4 songs with me on vocals, and people are enjoying it. So I'm just lucky. I'm just lucky that they're enjoying it so far. But it's a powerful album. It's not a lot of shredding on it, not a lot of fast play. There are a few songs where it kind of takes off, but overall, the I played the opening track when you were there on my stream last week, and you saw the reaction in the chat from people. It's like I wanted it to be like you hit play, and it just takes you on a journey, start to finish, right? So I hope, like, from the feedback that I've got so far, it seems to be connecting with people. So I'm happy with that.
I love it, man. Was there any plan or purpose behind the three album titles rhyming?
Not in the beginning. When I made Feel, I was like, I didn't know that there's going to be another album after this. Even my first album, Jesse, I was like, man, like the Bensters and some of my OG Bensters. Shout out to Pookie and Elena. They really pushed me at that time. They were like, you should make an album. And I was like, who the heck is going to buy an album? This is like the day and age of Spotify singles. One single from this artist, and then you jump to a different single from another artist. Who listens to albums anymore, let alone buys them? And also CD. They were like, no, just make it, just make it. I'm like, all right. So I made it, and so many people bought it. Like, man, it was like, for me personally, like, I think to this day, Feel has sold like 185 or something like that,
Awesome.
which is crazy, man. For me, it was like, holy shit, like I wasn't expecting more than like 30 or 40 max. And those two, I was thinking, is gonna be out of pity. Like, okay, like this guy, this noob made an album. Let's buy the album for him so he just feels good. But it was crazy. And then the second album, when I was working on that, I was like, okay, so Feel because feel was another word that a lot of people used to use. It was journey. You can feel the music. So I was like feel, and then the second time, a lot by the time the second album came, a lot of people had started using the word heal. That your music is healing and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? If I choose heal, it kind of rhymes with feel as well. So let's go with that. And my daughter loves that. Like she laughs at it to this day, but she kind of finds it cool now. And now she's always telling me, okay, maybe the next one should be called deal or something. I'm like, no, I'm done. These three were rhyming. The next one, if I make one, is going to be completely different. It's not going to rhyme. But it's, I don't know. These three words also like kind of fit my music's vibe. Feel, heal, and real. Like, just I'm just keeping it real in with my music. I'm not trying to be like, even when a lot of people say, holy smokes, this has Pink Floyd vibes. None of the songs, at least from what I can tell, are like inspired by a specific Pink Floyd song or have the same riff or same, anything from Pink Floyd or even the structure. But it just has that vibe where you just want to just zone out. So
Drop some acid and just disappear for a while.
I, I'm not gonna encourage
Yeah,
that.
me
but
neither.
if
Me
if
neither. We're
but
not
if
encouraging
that
nothing
yeah
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if that's your thing, holy smokes, like a lot of people say that my music is that kind of music. So that's the story behind the titles of the album.
No, I like that, man. I like that. And
Mhm.
I'm not kicking you off here. I don't want this to sound like it's the end, so hang tight. But will you tell all the folks where they can find your music, what they can do to support you, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so my music is on obviously YouTube, um, Spotify, Apple Music, all those Amazon Music, like all the main streaming platforms. You can find it there. If you wish to purchase it, it's on Bandcamp as well. And my albums. So the thing with my albums is I don't push them on Spotify immediately or streaming platforms immediately because the reason behind that is after the first album, I realized my first album was basically I took 9 or 10 of my songs that I had already dropped on YouTube. I remixed and remastered them a bit. And then I made one exclusive song for the first album. With the second one, I made, 5 or 6, I think 6 exclusive songs. With this one, there's 10. So my point was if somebody is willing to buy my music, I want my music to be for a little while at least exclusive to them. That they're investing their hard-earned money into buying my music to support me. So I want this to be something for them. So this time I even had a bonus song for those who pre-ordered the album. Um, but so the album songs are not you're not gonna find them right now. Feel you'll find. Heal I still have to upload it. But anything on my YouTube channel, like you can find that on every platform. And this latest album is on my website, 15band.com. If anyone goes there, new album Real. That's on the homepage. You can just click there, and then you can see all the links: digital copy, CDs, signed CDs, which quite a few people have ordered. So I'm still in the process of shipping the next batch out. So yeah, pretty much everywhere you can find my music.
Nice, man. Good for you. D-
Yeah, thank you.
let's jump off of music, but stay in the category of it for a little bit, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Sure. Yep.
So now that you're like mailing CDs all over, you offer signed CDs and stuff. What's the like strangest thing that you do as 15th Bend? And like what I mean is by that is like I hang out with Freeze the Fall and I'll walk into their kitchen and they've got 30 posters that have been ordered. They have to sign them all. And the band's like, man, we never thought we'd be signing anything. And now we have
Mm.
posters to sign to mail to people.
Yeah.
Like, what a
Yeah.
crazy thing. So I'm curious, like, what your take on that is.
It's like, look, I like Freeze the Fall obviously is doing such amazing things. This is just a start for them. So they better get used to it. For me, I was just surprised that anyone would want anything signed by me or any merch item or anything at all. Um, and then when the signed CDs, I started doing signed CDs, then the strangest thing that I did was, as you already know, was on my last album, Heal. and because there was this running joke about 15 being all fresh for his streams. Like I used to like shower, wear cologne and everything for my streams, even though nobody can smell me. And they used to joke. They're like, we can't smell you. Like, why are you wearing cologne? I was like, I gotta be in the vibe, guys. I gotta be fresh for this album. So people started joking that, oh, I wonder what he smells like. And I'm like, well, I just noted that down at that time. And then when the album was coming out, I said, okay, so you can order my CDs from the Kunaki, who's the CD distributor, or you can order a digital copy. But if you buy a signed copy, that album is gonna have, like, while I'm signing it, my hands might have some of my cologne on them. So the question that I wonder what he smells like, that'll be answered.
I saw that coming the
And
minute you started talking about the clone.
and and then I joked. I used that as a joke as well. I was like, look, this album is never gonna be the best selling album, but it's gonna be the best smelling
Yes,
album.
sir.
And that stuck. That stuck. The day I opened up my signed copies for sale, it was sold within like one night.
Wild.
Sold out, right? Because people were like, "Holy shit, we gotta check this out." Right? So it's that is the strangest thing that I've done with it. Um, but it's all in fun and jest. And posters now. Some people have asked for posters because the cover art that I have for this album. This is the first cover art where I am in the cover art myself. Like it's a silhouette with my guitar, but still I'm in there. I actually went out with a friend who did a photo shoot, and then another friend edited the whole pictures and everything and made it look so beautiful. So um, some people have said, this would look really beautiful on a poster. So I'm like, okay, that's something I have to look into. I'm just like not fully sure about like how I'm gonna mail out the posters and everything. There's another new thing for me to learn. I gotta roll them apparently and then be careful with that stuff. So it's a learning curve. There's so many things you start getting into, which actually take you away from the music making process because now you're spending time doing all of that. Merch orders come in and then CD orders come in and all this stuff, and or somebody requested your music in a live stream and they're like, "Yo, 15, I just requested your song. You want to swing by and say hi?" And I always want to go and show my support to the reaction channel, like whoever is the reactor and that person, because I know they feel special as well. If I pop in and I say, "Yo, this person sent me," it's something that lifts them up as well. So I try my best to do that. But all of this like is takes a lot of time away from actually making music. So but yeah, I don't know how Freeze the Fall is going to manage it, bro, because they're blowing up right now. So good luck to them, and they're awesome.
Bro, I'll tell you right now, Freeze the Fall just coincidentally is set up for success when it comes to this. So
Yeah.
the lead singer's dad owns a print shop.
Oh, there
So he
you
actually can print all the merch and all the posters and all the banners and everything. And like that's his job.
go. Yeah,
Um, and then
but they're going to be signing it though, Jesse. They're going to be signing
oh
it.
bro, I've
So,
seen it. I've seen it. My stuff's
oh,
signed. I'm fortunate enough to have them sign my stuff too. So
yeah,
but they got cool signatures. That's the other thing. Um, and yeah, like just like that alone is a weight off. Like that's an enterprise, like that you and I would have to hire. Like you'd have to
yeah,
pay someone a commission basically off of each unit that you sell, just to have it
yeah,
printed and shipped for you, or even just
exactly.
shipped for you.
Well, no, right now, I have my merch on like Fourth Wall and
Yep.
Spring and Sticker Mule. And sometimes I'm like, yo, the commission for me is like this much, but the people have to pay like such a high amount, and I feel bad. I tell them sometimes, yo, just don't buy. It's fine. I'll send you one or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But people are just like, no, man, we gotta show you support, and we want to wear it, and we want to be, like representing 15. So I really appreciate that. Um, but yeah, that's what it is. You just take a little bit of the commission, and everything else like they just take, right? But I mean, I can't store inventory here, and I can manage that. I know with everything else going on, with work, family, music, YouTube, everything. Like that is one thing that I cannot take on. I wanted to, I really wanted to at one point, but then I was like, man, that's gonna be too much.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. Yep.
Yeah. So like how do you keep like yourself in check outside of music, outside of writing? Like what do you do to relax, or what do you do to Like just have some 15th time, you know?
Oh man, Jesse, I
What
think
is time? What is free time, eh?
this last year and a half, I think, or 2 years, that free time, that time is gone. It's gone. I really don't have any. The only time I get is when I'm on the train headed to work 2 days a week, because we went back 2 days a week, and that is the only time I get where I'm like, okay, this is like 45 minutes, 50 minutes right now in this train, where I can just watch Netflix or catch up with the news or whatever. Other than that, it's because when I get here, after like 16 to sleep, and everything is sorted upstairs, I can come to my man cave guilt free. Then it's just like one thing or another. There's always something going on related to 15 Ben, where I'm like, I realize by the time I look at the clock, it's like 1 a.m. or something, and I'm like, holy smokes, I got to be up for work, tomorrow. And the weekends are even tougher. The weekends, you're like, in your mind, you're like, yeah, I don't have work tomorrow. I can stay awake for another half an hour. The 16th clock is consistent. That's gonna that alarm is gonna go off at the same time, and then it's the whole day with the kids and chores and everything. So the last 2 years, I have been guilty of this as well. I have not really done anything. I used to game a lot. I used to be into sports a lot, and now I'm just like, I have games purchased 2 years ago that I still haven't been able to play. So I think I'm gonna write a song about this. This is gonna You've put me in my feels right now just by asking that question.
I apologize. I
No,
ask
no,
because
no.
I'm
It's
genuinely curious because I don't know how to relax. Like
yeah,
even like lately, coming into this room is starting to feel like work a little bit, and it's not the YouTube thing, it's that I've piled on so much other stuff. Like I
mm,
do mixing for projects, I do like my own video editing, trying to
yeah,
work on relaunching merch. Like there's just always something to do, so when I come in here, it's not always just relax time, it's like
yeah,
pedal to the metal, and I love that. I love that feeling. But I'm at a point now where it's like I work all day, I'm in the heat, I come home, I've got a garden I've got to take care of and chickens and animals
yeah.
to take care of. Like it's
Oh,
constant. And I
constant.
I try to ask everybody like, what do you do to relax? And a lot of people are like, what do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but this is a good point you bring up, because I started to notice this, that there were a lot of pockets of time that I had where I could actually relax. I could have relaxed, but I think because I've been in this overdrive for so long, I found it really weird. I was like, fuck, so I have nothing to do? Like, really? Like, when I made the album, when the album was ready, and I had a few weeks before I launched it, I was like, okay, so right now, there's nothing to do. Pre orders are coming in. That's fine. They're piling up in my inbox. So I'm going to get to them. But I don't have any music to make. I only have my live stream once a week, so I can actually relax. I can watch something on Netflix or do something. But no, as soon as I start, I'm like, yeah, but how about I do this just so that I'm ready when those pre-orders are in, that I can have this documented. I'll start an Excel sheet and write everything down. And it's just like we have become used to this, I think, and it's not. I don't think it's good personally. I don't
Yep.
think it's good. You have to decompress. You have to find that time where it's, because with me, and I'm sure like 99% of people can relate to this, if I don't get my me time for like a few weeks in a row, I start losing my mind. I'm like, holy smokes. Okay, so now today I need at least a couple of hours where I'm not doing anything, and I can be sitting here on my recliner just staring at the ceiling for 2 hours listening to music. But I need that, you know, that me time is needed. Now it's rare that I get that, but still, like, I'm just finding little pockets of time and doing it. But that's very important,
Mhm.
especially for creative work. How are you going to be creative if you're just burned out all the time?
No, totally. Like
Yeah.
um I don't remember if you were at the Airbnb yet or not in Toronto, but I was talking to Johnny Foxtrot. Shout out to Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great dude.
Yeah.
Such a great dude. Um, I was telling him like, I when I was younger, like I had my business, my live production business, and I was constantly trying to grow that and book gigs and buy new equipment, and I had an employee at the time too. And then when that kind of like filtered out in my city, like they moved really quickly to like DJs and like self production and stuff like that. So like the live music industry in my town kind of died for like a long time. So I got out of it, got my first
Hmm.
like corporate job. But like I was always hungry for that, like being an entrepreneur. So then I was doing marketing on the side, and I was doing sales, and um, just like always busy. And I told Johnny, it used to feel like I was running, and now I feel like I'm chasing, which I don't like. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah, that.
I don't have a conventional job right now. Like if I don't work hours in the day, I make literally $0. Like there's no base pay, there's no nothing. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm either at home trying to push YouTube, or I'm out in the field working like landscaping and working on bobcats and tractors, or selling vegetables for my garden. Like it's always something.
Always something.
And
It-
that chasing feeling though is what burns me out. Like when I'm running, it's like literally like being in shape and being able to run. Like it feels great. You get this high about it. Like you're always like, I don't know, it feels like I'm in control, I guess. But right
Yeah.
now it's like I'm running behind the vehicle trying to catch up, and I don't like that. So but I need to be able to slow down and like take some time to myself to be the person I need to be for all those other things to work, right?
100%, Jesse. 100%. And it's. I think we need these perspective checks, reminders every now and then, where we think, okay, you know what? Like I'm chasing this, but why am I chasing this? Is it for this reason, which in the long run doesn't really matter? Or right now it seems to matter a lot, but how about I look at it from this perspective? And yeah, you know what? Like I can slow down a bit on this. And I can pursue another thing. Like it's crazy. Like I like just before this album, man. Like when I didn't get a lot of pre-orders like I used to, for Heal. Like sold out my signed copies within a night and everything. Um, this time things were initially slow. I was like, holy smokes, man! Like, what am I doing? Like, am I regressing as a musician? Because for me, it's like I need progress. Otherwise, I'm not motivated. Like that's what kept me going to learn the guitar during COVID. The progress every time I would be able to do something different, like something better than yesterday. I was happy, even if it was just something really minuscule. Like it was just like, okay, there's some progress. But this time I was so stressed out. I was like what am I doing musically? Like what am I doing wrong? That people I thought that they were excited about the album, but it's not really that the numbers aren't reflecting that. Am I like is 15 bends music? Am I plateauing? Because that is my biggest fear. The day I start plateauing, I'm done. I'm gonna call it quits, hang the guitar, and just be find something else because I want progress. I don't want to plateau, or even if I plateau for a year or two, but coming back down like that happens. That's inevitable with everything in life. But it was really really scary. I was like, what am I doing wrong? But I shout out again to the Bensters and some close friends who gave me different perspectives on this. And they were like, your goal, like, why is your goal that you have to progress? Your goal should be to be happy. I'm like, well, for me, since I've been a gamer since I was a kid, or in sports, there's always been a goal. Like sometimes I used to go play tennis, and I like it was just sometimes randomly because tennis wasn't my main sport that I used to play. I would go with a friend or a family member, and they'd be like, "Okay, let's just knock for 30 minutes, and let's just knock and then go home." I used to be like, "No, no, no, no! I need to play a set. I need to know that I have to win this set in order for me to enjoy it. I'm not gonna enjoy just knocking the ball. That's just how I am."
Yep.
So even in a game, video game, you have a goal. You have to reach that goal. You got to beat that boss. So for me, I was like, well, that's what makes me happy, reaching a goal. But this one friend of mine said, well, how about your goal is you change that from that to just being happy while you are moving towards it, or just finding enjoyment in what you're doing? Like that should be your goal. Why is the goal that, okay, you know what, I gotta sell this much because then I know that my music is good? Your music is good as it is. Like look at how many people love your music. So don't worry about that stuff. Just your goal should be to be happy while you're on this journey. And I was like, man, you know what? That's 100% true. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sell like millions of copies or be on. I have no aspirations to be on tour or do any of that. I'm too old for that stuff. So this should be the goal, and that perspective change changed me. Like those few days afterwards, like it was just like I was not even worried about it. And well, then the Bensters came through, and they shared it out like crazy. And I still like I'm very happy with the number I hit. For me, this is way more than I had ever imagined when I picked up that guitar, 5 years ago. So it's just the you have to be surrounded by real ones who keep you going. Because otherwise, like outside of music, like in my personal life, outside of 15 Men, I can count on maybe two hands how many people really enjoy my music. Like who people who knew me before 15 Men. For them, I'm always going to be the guy who's not a musician, who's a cricketer or whatever. Uh, but all these people that I've met online, they have shown me a completely different side of what it means to have that support in your musical journey, right? So again, we go full circle and come back to the Bensters. So shout out to the Bensters,
Shout
man.
out to the Bensters, man. But
Yeah.
it's cool. Like today, I'm confident in saying that from like an emotional standpoint, that I am who I've always wanted to be, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like in like previously, because I used to be an athlete and I used to be a competitive bodybuilder, and
Yep.
I say this in my videos and I always get a chuckle. I was previously a douchebag. There was a time in my life where I was a total douchebag,
Yeah.
but I always like knew in my heart that that wasn't what who I was like
Yep.
internally, but it was what I was surrounded with.
Yep.
And now, and this has taken me a long time to like get used to, but like all my friends, for the most part, the major majority of my friends are online, and they're all people who appreciate my uh, existence around them, even though it's mostly digital, like through Discord or
Mhm.
online videos or live streams, whatever. And now it's like I'm free to be who I actually want to be, not who I think the people around me want to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Ab-
And it's so
Absolutely.
freeing.
It is. It is absolutely. And also another factor in this, Jesse. By the way, I think before I say this, we should address your shades because everyone's going to be thinking, "Holy smokes! Why is Jesse wearing shades and why is this guy wearing shades?" So Jesse's wearing shades just so that I am not the only one wearing shades.
Yeah.
I wear shades. I know it's quirky and weird. I'm wearing them inside, but it's just something. When I started streaming, I'm very camera conscious, so I was like, you know what? I just want to hide. I don't want to show my face. And that's how it started. I put these glasses on. I put a beanie or a cap on. And I was like, like my live stream has a tiny, rectangular screen where I'm just like hiding. Um, so, and then it just stuck. It just became like so many jokes have come out of it that now this is just associated with it. People have been asking me, do you have like 15 band shades that we can buy, from the merch store? Like, I don't, but
Not yet, but you look out.
so so that's why Jesse, thank you. You're also wearing shade. We both were laughing about that when we started,
Yeah.
but that was off camera. But I was saying the other main thing, Jesse, is when you are passionate about something and you completely immerse yourself into it, you if you meet someone or if you're like in a social setting, you want to talk about it. You want to be like, man, I don't care about all those stock market prices. I don't give a shit about all that. I want to talk about music or YouTube, because YouTube is it's a whole like world of its own, and there's always so much happening. You want to learn more, and obviously, anyone outside of YouTube or is not a musician, or like you sit with them and you talk to them, they're like, man, what the, you know, like, but they do get fascinated by it. They are fascinated. Holy smokes! Okay, so you're a pro musician and YouTube and everything, because for them, YouTube is a tool that they use very differently. They're gonna watch like some comedy skits or some news clips, and that's it. A lot of them don't even know what live streams are. They still
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing you said that. But the people online, people you meet online, YouTube, like they get you, man. They get you what you're saying. They understand you, because they're in that same world with you. It's crazy. It's crazy. And a lot of people outside of this don't understand this. They're like, how can you have friends online? Like that is so MIRC 2000 and one, and what are you doing? And I'm like, man, you have no idea. This is a completely different world. And yeah, sometimes you think some people are your friends and they turn out to be something else, and that's fine. That's part of life. But so many amazing people that we have met. Like, look, this is what you and I were saying when we met up for lunch. That what are the odds if I had not started learning the guitar, or if you weren't on YouTube, what are the odds that our paths would have ever crossed?
Oh,
You
bro.
know, and now when you're telling me that you used to be a douchebag, I would have been like, man, I don't want to fucking sit and chill with this guy, you know?
Oh, bro, like, I think back to how I used to be, and I wouldn't wanna sit and chat with me either, like,
Yeah, no,
and
I understand. I understand. And I think we all went through something similar at some point. I think the late teens, and you're surrounded by people like that, and that becomes your survival instinct. That okay, I got to blend in, and I got to be a bit of a douchebag as well. But like I don't know, man. Since the day I've known you, like you've been super kind and nice, and I don't see that side, but I'll take your word for it. Okay, you were a
oh,
douchebag at some point, but
but
I
honestly,
I
bro, like, I'm a very, like, emotional dude. I cry all the time, like, happy
yeah.
tears usually, right? Or, like, when I talk about my fiance, I just get, like, so emotional. And people around here would like look at me with like a side eye for that. And I'm just like, then I don't need y'all. Like,
Yeah,
you don't get to
100%.
decide what and when I feel. Like, I decide that.
100%.
And I'm going to
100%.
curate this group of people around me that I can communicate with and I enjoy communicating with. And it's reciprocal. Like, they're all emotional. They all celebrate with each other. Like, it's incredible, man. I'd have never guessed.
Bro, like, not to take the conversation into a very, sad spot, but because it's recent, but you've heard about, like, my friend and a friend of a lot of people in the community, Wolf 7 Music. Brilliant, brilliant musician, great guy who passed away recently. Um, Bro, like, I couldn't even grieve with people outside of YouTube related to that. Like, very few close friends of mine, they understood that, okay, you know what, like, he's feeling this right now. But most of my grief was shared with people on YouTube, who knew Wolf and who know, like, what bond I have with him. So it's like that makes you realize this even more, that this isn't just some hollow, online, just a name behind the screen. These are real people, and these friendships, these bonds are really, they go deep, and it's a beautiful thing.
Totally.
So, and I have, like, sometimes, like, two or three of my songs are inspired because someone went through something, and I just felt so sad because they went through that. But I just picked up the guitar and I made a song inspired by that. Like, I didn't feel that in my life myself, not directly, but I felt a friend's grief or whatever they were going through, and I made a song about that, right? And they still thank me for that to this day. But I'm like, no, no need to thank me. This was straight from the heart. This is what I felt, because I feel that you went through something like this, and like, if I went through the same thing, like, you're super strong. And man, Jesse, I have met the strongest people
Oh,
on
bro.
in this world, man. Like,
Facts,
on in
bro.
this YouTube world, bro. Strongest. Like, I could not handle even 10% of what some of these people have gone through, and they persevere and they survive and they thrive. Like, it's just, we can talk about that for hours and hours, man.
Hours
Like,
and hours, bro.
it's beautiful people, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
Oh, bro, it's amazing. And like that person thanking you for the song, like, no, thank you for sharing with me. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
pulled this out of me, right? Like,
100%.
yeah,
100%. It's just a very beautiful thing, man. I really I'm just fortunate that while COVID was a very dark time in some regards for a lot of people, and including myself, I'm just fortunate that I took that time, and something, for me personally at least, something very beautiful came out of it. So, and the friendships I made, the bonds I made, like, that's what it's all about at the end of the day, man.
totally, bro.
Yeah.
And like if I could kind of top up on that, like when all that happened, I was how old am I now? I was like 27 or 28. And my mentor will tell you that everybody goes through like a mental breakdown when they're 27 or 28. And it happened to me. It was right around that time. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is like I had given so much of my life to this corporate job that I had. Like, so when shutdowns happened, everything was shut down. Like we weren't working. We were just like getting a phone call once a week to get checked in with, and hey, we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do. We might work from home, yada yada yada.
Yep.
My roommates and I, one of them or two of them worked at a grocery store, so we started delivering groceries to like older folks to just try to help out because it was
Yep.
scary enough, like especially for like those at risk. Nobody knows what the
Yep.
hell's going on, and now you got to go to
Yep.
this crazy busy public place. Like we'll just bring you your shit. Like it's cool. Like don't worry about it.
Yep.
And the way that they shamed me at my work about this, bro, was nasty. And it made me feel like when I'm trying to be just a good dude, just trying to help out, and you're making me feel bad about it. And like, I remember talking to my therapist about it and just being like, it just feels like the world's telling me that I can't do this anymore. And when I
Mhm.
got into the YouTube thing, man, like it was so healing. And in the first like initial like 6 months, I was going through like the hardest times for myself that I've ever experienced. But YouTube was just
Yep.
such like a nice outlet. Like just step away from it and just put the headphones on and just take in some
Yep.
music and whatever. And I
Yep.
remember like my fiance, girlfriend at the time, now fiance, being like, like this seems to be like really working for you, like in your mental health. And like whether or not the channel like does well, and it did do really well right out of the gates, she was like, you should just keep doing this. Like whatever I need to do to step up to help, I'll do that. But like you just keep focusing on this because it seems good for your heart. And it's just like I wouldn't have had that if it wasn't for like these beautiful people out there, right?
Absolutely, man. 100%. I I still remember like all the names of people who have played some major role. Like Mike Abrams is one of my friends from the early days. He was one of the people who really pushed me to do live streams. He was like, "Bro, you've got it." I'm telling you, because him and I used to talk. Like I at that time I was very in my shell. I wouldn't talk with a lot of people. I wouldn't open up with a lot of people. Him and I just connected and hit it off. He's a Canadian as well, and like he was like, "Bro, like just listening to you and the voice notes and everything, and just the way because him and I used to have listening parties. Like I would just introduce him to all this classic rock music that he hadn't listened to, and he told me, bro, like I feel like if you started live streaming, it would take off, man. And I was like, bro, but I'm not coming in front of the camera, bro. No way I'm gonna show my face or anything. He's like, man, just do it. Like, what the fuck? And to this day, I think about it, and that it happened by accident because I broke my finger. I'm playing cricket, and I was like, I had to play a solo. I had to record a solo for a song of mine, and I was like, okay, so now I can't even play the guitar for 8 weeks. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do on YouTube? Like, I don't have a song or nothing. And I was just like, all right, you know what? Let's just start this. Let's just start doing this. And live streaming just took it to a whole other level because people are now in my chat. They're talking to me. I'm talking to them. They look forward to my stream. I look forward to seeing them in the chat. And if I was just by myself or I had like one or two people, I probably would have been like, man, you know what? This is not that fun. But it's like the chat is flying. You've seen the
Oh,
live
bro,
stream.
it's
The
gotten
chat is
crazy.
flying. I can't even keep up with all the comments, but the ones that I do catch is either something funny or it's something related to the song. It's so beautiful. It's such a we play off each other so well, and I am to this day I'm grateful to Mike Abrams and well Elena and Pookie as well who pushed me to do this. And if it wasn't for these people, if I had just ran into naysayers from the beginning,
Hmm.
which I did a lot, by the way, but outside of YouTube. But on YouTube, it was all like encouragement and support. If I hadn't found these beautiful people, I just probably would have, I wouldn't have had to experience something so amazing.
Yep, totally. Oh, bro,
Yeah,
like I feel the same. I live in a really small, really conservative town, and I ran into some like very influential people from my life. Like when I was 13, 14, and 15, I played at like a pretty high level like soccer, competitive soccer.
mhm.
We travel all over, and we're
Yep,
pretty good, especially for coming from a small town.
nice.
And so I ran into my coach, which is like always a really cool feeling because they crafted me to be like the competitive young man that I am, right?
Yep,
And they're like, "So like, what are you up to?" And I always kind of dodge, or I'm a little dodgy on the YouTube thing. Oh, I work for myself from home, like I work in the music industry and stuff like that. Oh yeah, so like, what is it you do? Well, I have this YouTube channel, and they go, like YouTube channel, like what the hell do you
yeah,
do on YouTube? Yeah, well, like people ask me about concerts and stuff with my history in live music, and I try to just like explain what's going on to them. Like, well, that can't pay anything. Well,
Yeah,
it pays my heart dividends, bro. Like, I'm
100%.
happy and cheerful, and I got this big ass freeze the fall tattoo, and even if freeze the fall doesn't make it forever, I want to remember that like I believed in some kids and they blew the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like that is what I want. You know what I mean? Like,
100%,
yeah, like
100%.
it's not about
And
the
you know,
money. Like,
it's but you know what? Like it's some people you can say that to and they'll understand that, okay, you know what? Like I get it. Like he's really enjoying it, right? Unfortunately, there's some naysayers in your life who are, your relationship with them is of this type where you say something like that and they're gonna be like, yeah, well, we don't give a fuck about that.
yeah,
And at that point, it kind of you feel bad that you have to because they bring money into the discussion that okay, but how much does it pay? How much do you make? And then you're inadvertently led into this corner where you have to, flex that okay, I made this much. And then they're like, holy shit, that's good, that's very good. But then you're like, man, but that's I
it makes it feel dirty.
didn't I didn't need your approval
Yeah,
for this, but I just said this to you so you shut up and I never have to hear you talk about this shit with me again.
yeah,
You know, but it's the whole like vibe about this, the way it's transformed my life. That is what the main thing is.
totally.
The other part, like I have a full-time corporate job, and this stuff, whatever I'm making, it's not even minimum wage on like the YouTube one. It's not even minimum wage. Like it's not life changing for me. But for these people, it's like it's like okay, how much do you make? Then it's justified. That's the only thing. A lot of that's the only language a lot of people understand these days.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I was once at a friend's kid's birthday party, and this story, like because like some of my friends saw this play out, they to this day they laugh about it. So I was at my friend's kid's birthday party, and like so my friend has a very good corporate job as well. All his friends who were there, they're all like corporate, like someone's a director, someone's a VP, and this and that. And like we're just standing, like five or six of us are standing there, and my friend just goes to get something because it was his kid's birthday party. He's running around, and and this other friend of mine says, "Yo, do you know he's enrolled in another MBA program?" I was like, "Bro, didn't he just finish his masters?" And he's like, "Yeah, but now he's enrolled in MBA." I'm like, "Man, this guy's an idiot." And he's like, "Why? Why do you say that? Like, isn't that good?" I'm like, man, like, like, how much do you want to? Like, he's doing so well as it is, and I know when he was doing his masters, he was losing his mind with full time job and masters and everything. Like, why are people just running themselves ragged, chasing something which I guarantee you, when they get there, they're not going to be content even then. So I just start saying this stuff, and I see like two or three strangers, but they start looking at me, and they're like, "So what do you do?" I tell them I have a very good job and I'm very happy. I went to engineering school. Yeah, I lost all my hair through engineering school, but at least it got me into a good career. I enjoy it.
And now you wear a beanie, and that's cool. So
Yeah, exactly. It's like the work is it gives me contentment, but I am not like sitting here all the time chasing the stock market or chasing investments and this and like you guys, like your conversation that I've seen over the last 20 minutes, I have had zero interest in it. Jesse, I'm not kidding. Approximately 10-15 minutes later, because then guitar came up and stuff, because one of the friends said that, yeah, bro, like this guy, he plays guitar, like that's what he does in his free time these days, so he's doing good. But we don't have that talent, so we have to like get ourselves busy in MBA and shit like this. 20 minutes later, two or three of those, like those strangers, one by one, they just kind of took me to the corner and they're like, bro, like, so what do you suggest, man? Like I'm stressed all the time that my friend has this, he bought a new house, and I'm like, okay, I gotta buy a new house, or I'm always like stressed out, so what do you suggest, man? And I swear to God, like an hour later, like I had lectured like three or four different strangers about the beauty of being content in life.
yeah. Oh, bro, and nothing against your job. I know you have a great job, but
Yeah,
these are supposed to be
yeah,
like superior people in society, and they're supposed to
yeah,
have it
yeah,
all figured out. And it's like they're just
yeah,
coming and asking little old me for help. Like, how cool?
yeah, yeah. No, 100%. And I was just like, so to this day, my friend, like this happened like I think 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And to this day, whenever we get together, all our friends, they joke about it. They're like, "Yeah, this guy is like this is the most content individual we've seen." And then whenever they're talking about some stock market or something, they know I just take out my phone and I zone out. I'm like, I'm zoned out, man. Like I'm very happy.
Yeah.
If my kids are fed, you know, I have a roof over my head. And whenever my kid asks me that, okay, I feel like eating this, daddy, like can we have this? I can go get it for them. That's it. I am rich. I don't need to fucking chase and go crazy and burn away my life and my free time where I could be doing something that fulfills me, but I'm just like always running ragged. Like imagine, Jesse, that you and I, like how we mentioned that we, in our current lives that we feel like, oh my God, I'm always like, just rushing against time. Imagine if we didn't have this outlet. Instead, we had all these other fucking investments and stock markets, like stocks and all that shit that we were invested in and losing our mind over. Like, no wonder a lot of people are just like having cardiovascular issues at a very
Oh,
young
bro,
age these
I
days,
can't
man.
imagine.
like not to say that I'm not gonna have any, because because my lifestyle for the last 2 years I've been like, as we said, I haven't had a lot of time to chill or work out or do anything. But it's just like, man, like I can't do that life. This I would rather have something which fulfills my soul
Yep.
rather than go crazy like that. I can't do it.
Yep. No, bro, I totally feel you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting messages that I'm getting a flood out back, so I am gonna have to
Oh,
wrap this up, unfortunately.
no
Um,
worries at all.
but is there any advice you would want to give to an aspiring musician or YouTuber out there? I'll give you the floor for a moment.
Aspiring musician. Well, if you really want others to believe in your music, you first have to believe in your music yourself. And you have to be open to feedback. And all at the same time, you have to know which feedback you have to filter out. Because a lot of times you're going to get feedback which has nothing to do with what you're trying to do. Like a lot of time people are going to tell me, "Oh man, this song should have had lyrics. This song should have had lyrics because it's instrumentals." But they're just used to songs with lyrics. I'm not going to take their feedback and be like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put lyrics on every song." I'm going to stick to what I'm doing. So that would be my biggest advice. Just be yourself and believe in yourself. Because if you do that, you'll find an audience which believes in you as well. So go for it. That's my advice.
I love it, man. Very, very, very wise.
Thank you.
Congratulations again on the new record and all the
Thank you.
success you've experienced with the beautiful Bensters and your YouTube channel and everything, man. It's
Thank you so
very,
much,
very
man.
great hanging out with you. I can't wait to go for lunch with you with the stinky cheese again.
The earthy cheese.
Earthy cheese. Sorry, yeah, earthy cheese. We'll make sure we don't
No,
get anything earthy next time.
absolutely not. No, no, thank you very much. I know this is long overdue. You were the first person I committed to that I'm going to be doing this with. Over the last 2 years, it's just been my schedule's been a nightmare, and a lot of times it used to be, okay, can we do it live? So with live, the thing is, I can do what I did today with you, where I was like, okay, I'll call you at this time, but then I was like, well, 16 still up, so bro, I got to push this out by an hour. But this was perfect because now we recorded this, and now we're not worried about, oh my god, people are waiting right now. So thank you so much. I'm really, really honored to be here. And you know, nothing but respect and love for you. And I wish you the best of luck with your channel as well.
Hey,
And
man.
everything else that you have, stuck your fingers in right now, like mixing and mastering and this and that. Like, I don't know how you do it, but bro, best of luck with everything.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. And as per usual, if you need anything from me, man, just hit me up. I'm always around. I always got you.
I appreciate
Those of
you.
you at home, I'll have all the links for 15th in the description box, including his new record, his website, his YouTube